Hello everyone, my name is Shanika Maximore, and today I want to speak a little on human suffering. Why there is human suffering, where it all began, and will there always continue to be human suffering, and that's the gist of my speech today. Everyone in their lives at some point in time has experienced some sort of trial or tribulation, and when going through various trials and tribulations, one may say, well, why am I going through this, or why me? Or when watching something shocking or hearing a tragedy on TV, a person may say, well, why is God allowing this to happen? Or if He truly loves us, why, or if He truly cares about us, why is He allowing us to suffer? In this speech, I will highlight from my study of the Bible that although we do suffer various trials and tribulations, these are only temporary, and that we can have hope in the promises that the Bible gives us regarding human suffering, and that soon this will be brought to an end, and that there is only one kingdom that can accomplish this on a worldwide scale. Human suffering, we all know that it's been around for years, since man's beginning. And we don't just suffer in one aspect of life, we suffer emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Why is this? Well, we know this is because of what originally took place in the Garden of Eden. It all started when a certain jealous angel wanted all the power and glory for himself. And to make a long story short, he tricked and deceived Eve to eat the forbidden fruit in an effort to get what he wanted. And she, in turn, gave it to Adam, her husband. So Adam and Eve both engaged in this life-changing act without thinking of the long-term consequences it would have for them, as well as the cause and effect that it would mean or have on their descendants as well. Soon after Satan tricked them into eating the forbidden fruit, we know that Satan was cast out of heaven, which is what brought our problems about, which meant bad things for us. All of our problems came about from this. Revelation chapter 12 tells us, woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has come down to you with great anger, knowing he has a short period of time. So he was the one, or the cause, or the source that created or brought about all of our problems today, the one wreaking all the havoc on earth. And in so many ways, mankind knowingly and unknowingly has contributed to human suffering. And today we have religious and world leaders that have tried to resolve these issues. But to what point were they successful, or have they created more problems, or were their efforts successful in trying to resolve it? Well, no, because people don't or cannot get comfort from these governments who have established their own rules of conduct that they do not even abide by themselves. Have their efforts been successful? In my opinion, no. Because in creating more problems, they're the ones that created more problems. And from history, we know that it has been shown this to be true, because we have war, slavery, and the religion was behind all of this, or this was the root cause from the beginning. And I looked up that information in Civilization in the West, the 7th edition. That's in a history book. Has mankind contributed to human suffering? Well, yes, they have. How do we know this? Well, because, again, in Ecclesiastes 8:9, it tells us that man has dominated man to his own injury. Examples of this: war, oppression, slavery, crime, violence, pestilence, all of these things. So you may ask yourself, well, is there anything that can successfully end all human suffering? Well, yes, there is. Well, then what is it? It's God's kingdom. Now, some of you may say, well, what is God's kingdom? Well, God's kingdom is a righteous government ruled by Christ from heaven. And you may be thinking, okay, well, how can this kingdom bring an end to all human suffering? Well, we know this by Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. It tells us that by means of this kingdom will crush and ruin all other kingdoms, and that this kingdom will be the kingdom that stands for time indefinite. And when is this all to occur? Well, Jesus gave us composite signs to identify this time. And I'm sure that you will agree with me that we are in this time now, because Matthew 24, 6-14 tells us the signs of the times that we'll be living in. War, food shortages, earthquakes, pestilences, diseases, all of that is what we see now today. Human suffering is something that we all can attest to and all will experience right now due to the original sin that was committed in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve. Their choice to willingly disobey God led to the devastating condition that we are in today. But we also know that this condition is only temporary and that it is not permanent. I'm sorry, who's kid? This condition, it's okay. The condition is only temporary and not permanent. And that there is hope, because the Bible talks about God's promises to bring an end to all suffering by means of His righteous kingdom. I've pulled some references, some pictures to just show you figuratively of what the earth will look like after God's kingdom is established and in place when Jesus is ruling. And this is a picture of the paradise earth. And as you can see, it's just beautiful. It's not what, this might be, the pictures we see today, we might have to go overseas or go to those tropical islands or paradise islands, Bahamas, Hawaii. But this is how the earth will look all over. All over. And as you can see, fresh water. It's just beautiful. You can see the cows, and you see children riding the elephant. You see a baby tiger, which we know that can happen today, just lounging without some type of training. But we won't have to have training during this time. And I pulled another reference. I lost my marker. Just bear with me a second. Oh, right here. And this one is a new paradise on earth. And that's even more, beautiful. In this picture too, you see the lions, the lion family. You see the little girl playing with the lion. And normally, that's not to be true, because the mom lion will consider the little girl a threat and probably kill her. But we see in paradise, the Bible tells us this is how the whole entire earth will be. In my last and final picture, which is this one is more real. It's just the way that it was painted. It's just more. It looks so real. The picture itself just looks so real. And my main source of reference was my Bible, the New World Translation of Holy Scriptures. I also used a history book, which was Civilization in the West, the 7th edition. Oh my gosh, somebody else's child. The kids are just loving me right now. Oh, I'm sorry, dear. And I also used BibleStudy.com. I also used LiveScience.com, www.watchtower.org.com, and a few other sources. And those sources basically, with the live science, it basically talked about the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve. And one source, I couldn't remember, it also even talked about how the human body was designed to live for. They didn't say forever, but they said a long time. They couldn't put a time limit on it, but basically, because when God created us, there was no death. So the human body was basically designed to live forever. And so,
3 more minutes.
Thank you very much for coming out tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mama, you got 3 minutes.